Hi, this is Father Scurti with Linda Zani, my guest today, as we deal with the topic of persons with disabilities and specifically the Red Ribbon Academy. That's wonderful. Welcome back, Linda.
Thank you so much.
Linda and I know each other for many years. I taught Linda in DePaul High School in Wayne, New Jersey, and now she is a mother of a woman, young lady with a person with disabilities. And I like to always reference the scriptures or our faith when we're talking about any topic, but specifically this one. This is a quote from St. John Chrysostom, and St. John Chrysostom was a saint of what we call Father of the Church in the 6th century. Now, of course, think of what he's saying. Man means mankind. So what is it that is about to be created that enjoys such honor? It is man, that great and wonderful living creature, more gracious in the eyes of God than all other creatures. For him the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all the rest of creation exist. God attached so much importance to his salvation that he did not spare his own Son for the sake of man. Nor does he ever cease to work, trying every possible means until he has raised man up to himself and made him sit at his right hand. St. John Chrysostom, 6th century, talking about the dignity and sacredness of the human being. He uses the word man generically, but it's man and woman. And the Church, of course, for centuries has always been in the forefront in caring for the poor, the persons with disabilities, the handicapped. And today, specifically, you're working with a group called the Red Ribbon Academy.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Well, in 2010, when my daughter and my friend, Dr. Marshall Wilkes' son, graduated, we realized that they were in a lot of trouble because they educate out of their entitlement of an education at age 21. At age 21, for those who are living at home, and as I've said in previous segments, there are very few of this population, the medically fragile, multiply disabled, developmentally disabled population. They are not entitled to any services. I'm going to say that again. They are not entitled to anything.
Just describe your daughter's situation.
Okay.
So they know who we're talking about.
Okay, my daughter, Marisa Thomas, is a young lady who is 25 years old. She has probably what would be classified as the big three. She has cerebral palsy. She has never walked and never crawled, so she's in a wheelchair. She is intellectually delayed. She is probably about a 2 or 3 year old mentally. And she also is visually impaired. So this is a group with individuals like my daughter that would be classified as a level 6 by the state of New Jersey Department of Developmental Disabilities.
When did you know she would be born with all of these disabilities?
I did not know until right after she was born.
And
I did not know.
They examined her and they knew immediately?
Yeah, pretty soon. And she, we chose to, I guess this is a good point to say, what happened in my case is back 25 years ago, the state actually sent someone to my house who was a social worker, and she actually told me that we would be better off if we did not keep her at home, and that we placed her in a children's facility. And one of the reasons this social worker gave me is she said, your marriage will never make it. She said, this is too much. She's too disabled. Even we had 2 physicians tell us she needed surgery at birth. They actually told me not to give her surgery because they said she would be better off. In other words, better off dead. And there is really a prevailing...
And what happened to Hippocratic Oath?
Exactly. They basically said, don't do anything because she'll make it. And then you're going to be, dealing with her. And I'll tell you, she's been a blessing. She and the other 505 adults like her that are living in the state of New Jersey at home with their families are really loved, they're really precious, they're really worthy, and the entire system is set up so that they don't live at home with their families. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now that the medical community in New Jersey has helped these individuals so much that they are living into adulthood. So our little population, which people don't know about, is actually a new breed of adults.
Yes.
Not just in New Jersey, but in the nation.
Sure.
And they are making it. However, the situation is such that if you're a child and you need a trach, do you know that there are hundreds and hundreds of children with trachs that could live at home that are living in residences and institutions in our state and being sent out of the state?
But part of that is the choice of the parents?
Part of that is the choice of the parents, but the parents don't really have a choice, just like we didn't when the kids graduated, because the system is not set up in terms of adequate funding to provide the quality that we need to feel good about saying we can adequately service them at home.
Right.
This is where we are right now. Our population is in a lot of trouble. I'm here. I'm reaching out to people. What we actually need, and I'll explain in a moment why, is we actually really need in the adult world to have a corporation of some sort help us fund quality day programs for these individuals so that at 21, families could go on, keep their jobs, to keep their children at home, their adult children with this level of disabilities. That is not happening.
Explain what a day program is.
A day program is a program that is funded by the state with state taxpayer dollars traditionally. That's changing a little bit. It's going to be funded with a match of state and federal funds as we go to a Medicaid rate-based system this year. That's where the trouble lies right now, because there are two portions to funding a day program. A day program is where children like mine, who is now at the Red Ribbon Academy in Wayne, New Jersey, which is a day program produced by Community Options, a state-approved provider, that myself and the 4 other mothers in the parents group actually advocated for and were successful in getting state money to create. The other 4 moms I want to mention are Dr. Marsha Wilkes of Paterson, New Jersey, Vicki Allen of Wyckoff, New Jersey. We spoke earlier about her beautiful daughter, Marissa Allen, Lisa Crilly of Wanacue, and Linda Salerno of Ramsey, New Jersey. The 5 of us banded together, formed the Parents Group, which is an advocacy group, and we have created, with the state and Community Options, one of the premier day programs in the country, and it is in Wayne, New Jersey.
That is wonderful. And our audience could go on to a YouTube presentation of the Red Ribbon Academy.
Yes, they can. Search for Red Ribbon Academy.
How would they contact you? Will you have an email address?
They can contact me at parentsgroup365@gmail.com. And they can also contact me at 201-314-8045. And we get a lot of calls. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Or you can contact me.
Or you can contact you.
We'll contact Linda. How do you communicate with your daughter? Now, you have to realize she's multiply disabled.
Oh, yes.
And that's important because a person might look at someone sitting in a wheelchair and say, what do I do? How do you communicate with her?
You have to, most people are surprised and shocked at how quickly they can communicate with my daughter or other individuals. They understand immediately. I would say you could do it in a day's time or less. If you spend time with the individual, you could understand. You might ask a question of the other adults and they would say, I think she's trying to tell me this. Is she trying to tell me that? Yes. My daughter communicates. She says very few words. But in her gestures, eye movements, physicality,
Right.
It's really beautiful because you are open, when you're with these individuals, you open yourself up to really another level of understanding people
Right.
and what they do. And it's really amazing. But as you know, working with the population.
When I was at the developmental center, I was chaplain there for 30 years, I would go into, the various cottages had various levels of abilities, okay? But Mies was the one with the worst conditions. And they looked like, and again, these people looked like they were non-responsive.
That's right.
But when you sit down, and I got close to them, of course, I would touch them, and some would pull back, but most of them liked that, and they would start communicating. Again, not words, but you knew you were there with them and sharing heart to heart. And of course, it was funny. I remember ashes. We used to go for Ash Wednesday, of course. And I'm saying, okay, I got ashes for you. It's going to fall into your eyes, and I would put it on their heads, and they would make the face and smile or pull it off, or pull the ashes off. But again, each beautiful person there knew I was there. Father Lou's here, and the aides would go around with me and say, Father Lou's here, and they would give a reaction. And again, it's not a great big reaction, oh, hello, but heart to heart, you knew.
Yes, and that's why people get so close to them. The problem is that most people are not exposed to these individuals, and that's why the five of us always educate about what's going on.
What could our audience do when if you take your daughter shopping and she's in this wheelchair in a mall? What should they do, and what should they not do?
Well, some of us make it easy for other people to get to know people. And my daughter, when she was home for 3 years before we got Red Ribbon Academy up, because again, they're not entitled to anything, so they were all at home. We have people who were at home for 7 years, people that were put in placements that were Alzheimer's day programs with adults with Alzheimer's, and then there's this little child. So we need a lot of support, but we try to make it easy. Like I might do something like always have a matching. My daughter always has a matching hair bow and shoes. And when you're going around the mall, and I used to go around Garden State Mall in Paramus, people always made a comment about her shoes, and then we would start a conversation. Again, they have to educate. We have to educate because we're ambassadors. People would approach me, but I would be very open about it. I think that I have gone up to people when I'm not with my daughter. If I see someone and I say, "Hey, my daughter's like we're," but some people will. I mean, it's almost incumbent on the parent or caregiver that's with them to make it easy for other people to ask. I let kids ask me any question, and they ask me the most bizarre questions.
That's great. And I love Pope Francis for that, because he's making a point of it to find in the crowds of St. Peter's persons with disabilities, and more people are bringing them to him so he can touch them and raise their dignity.
Raise them up.
I mean, really, that's so important. And right now, he's a great vicar of Christ for us, and a great advocate for the disabled.
Yes, he is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much.
much.
There's so much more to say. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been Father Louis Scurti with Linda Zani Thomas, speaking on the beauty of persons with disabilities and the Red Ribbon Academy. God bless you.